tier list time, and everyone loves a tier list. We all know what's been going on recently with the approval of the ETF. That's obviously taken center stage for a lot of things, and rightly so. It's one of the biggest bits of news to ever hit crypto. And obviously, it took a little bit of time, but obviously Bitcoin is now starting to trade a little bit higher. But we'll look into that in a little while. So how I've done these categories is that we've got high risk, high reward. So rather than having like an S tier down to an F tier or whatever, it's basically high risk, high reward, high risk, low reward, medium risk, high reward, medium risk, low reward, and then low risk, medium reward, down to low risk, low reward. So low risk, low reward straight off the bat will be Bitcoin. Obviously, the risk now is even less. Now it's been, institutionalized to some extent. If we look at Bitcoin's price today, it's 47,721. It did hit 48.8. I imagine that it's going to fluctuate quite a bit, but it's definitely one of them assets that are not going to give you a 10x, but it'll give you safe gains. On that sentiment as well, Ethereum will also join low risk, low reward. Ethereum is actually performing far better than we actually thought it would do, in anticipation now of potentially an Ethereum ETF. So we're looking at 2,657 there. That's been pumping pretty well in the last 24 hours. But again, it's not going to give you massive gains. Potentially 8x maybe at tops, I would have thought. Then Cardano, ADA. So that for me is low risk but medium reward. I think the reward for Cardano could be potentially higher than the other two. If we look at ADA, it's doing really well today. It's 17.9% up. I was 18.1% up now. It's still climbing, which is good because are we seeing like an alt season? Will there be one kind of big comeback, one big pullback that gives us an opportunity to get some more altcoins at a very cheap level? Now, CRO, so Crowcoin, this for me, I think this is probably low risk in terms of that, but I think the reward's probably a little bit better. So I'm going to go with medium risk, high reward. Reason is we know how great they are at marketing. They marketed really well in the last bull run. Obviously, we had Matt Damon. You had the whole, well, not necessarily Matt Damon, but you had the whole Staples Center, the Super Bowl adverts. You had pretty much everything going for it. It was sponsoring absolutely everything. It's currently at 9 cents, nearly 10 cents. Again, I wouldn't sleep on this one. I wouldn't sleep on CRO. I think that it's a popular exchange. A lot of people get onboarded very easily with it, and it's relatively easy to use in my opinion. Other people might have different opinions about that. Then we've got CSPR. Now, the reason why I want to put this into medium risk, high reward is that I think the risk is less now on CSPR because I think it's doing very, very well. It's obviously at Davos soon. That might even be starting today. It's one of the ones people could criticize and say, no, it just doesn't move. But in reality, it's a very fundamentally strong coin, and it's up 5%. So it's come up to 5 cents now. I think this is still going to do really, really well. I still think it can give you a really high reward. But the risk is now less, I think, because it's getting a lot more adoption, a lot more partnerships. So that's pretty good. This is DeSo. DeSo, Decentralized social media. They're launching something today as well. That's medium risk, high reward. Because I still believe there's still a lot of legs in this one. Basically, its scarcity is huge. If we look here, it's at $45 too. Now, the annoying thing about this is you can get this very cheaply. It was down to sort of $8, look. So you could have picked this up really cheap. We made a video about it back when it was around about $8, $10, I think it was. And it's obviously doing really well since then. I still think there's plenty of legs to go for this. I think we can get a decent reward out of it still. The scarcity is going to be key. Now, Gala Games. Gala Games is a pain in the ass with the lawsuit and everything like that. So medium risk, but low reward. I think the risk is medium, but I don't think the reward is going to be the same as what it would have been had the lawsuit not taken place. I think it'll still do well. It's currently 0.02 So 2 cents, 13.5% up. I still think it'll do well. I still think it's a lot of the legacy crypto people who come back into the crypto space after, the last hammering that we all took back in 2021. I still think there's definitely potential for it to do well. But I think the reward is not what we thought it would be just before that lawsuit got announced. So that's a bit of a shame. So with GFAL, again, I'm going to go high risk, high reward, purely because it's still very new, but I think it's got some great connections. I think it's going to do well. It's so it's 3 cents, basically, nearly 4 cents at the minute. Had a bit of a sell-off earlier on, so that's quite interesting. Market cap's still really, really low at 61 million. I think that's going to be a great game and play. I still prefer Mirria to it myself. Then we've got HBAR. Now, HBAR is, for me, a medium risk, potentially a high reward, because I think that HBAR could do things that we don't expect it to do. People, criticize the tokenomics and stuff, but I still think it's fantastic. It's at 8 cents, 8.5 cents. I can see this easily flying past $1 into maybe $2.20. Some people are calling for $4. I'm not sure this is the time it'll go to $4. Not on this occasion. Hello, is it me you're looking for? So hello again. I want to put this in high risk, high reward, and the reason why is because we still need to see how it. In fact, no, it's not. It's not high risk. It's just not high risk anymore. For me, it's just not high risk anymore. So I'm going to go medium risk, but with a high reward, because it's got the show coming out. It's got a very strong leader in Paul Caslin. So many influencers are going to be backing this left, right, and center on all of their channels, all their socials. It's going to be seen all over the world, quite literally. I think the show itself's going out to 55 different countries. So it's not even really that high risk anymore. It's a $95 million market cap. It's at 17 cents, nearly 18 cents. I just think this is going to do absolute bits in the bull run. Again, though, everything's so high at the minute, it's a difficult time to buy altcoins because we're not sure where things are going. Now, HTR, this is an interesting one. So Hatha, I had this last bull run. It's up 22% today, coming up to 9 cents. This is potentially a high reward. So I'm going to go high risk, high reward for this. The reason being is I was saying for a long time they need to update their website. They need to start doing things. They have updated their website. Their website is now updated. It does look a lot better. If this gets the same kind of run it got back in 2021, this could be a really good play. But again, it does carry an element of risk. Jasmy, unfortunately, high risk, low reward. I'm just concerned now that this narrative for Jasmy is just not happening. It doesn't seem to fit into any of the key narratives that are coming up. It's 11.5% up today, 0.005. Yeah, you can see things happening, but that all-time chart is scary. There's not enough really coming out from the team. I can't really see how it's doing. We don't know about the buyback and burn, or at least the token lockups that they were talking about. It's a little concerning to me. I know people call it the Bitcoin of Japan and things like that, and it obviously regulated in Japan. But I'm just worried now about the potential reward in that. So if obviously that'd be high risk if I don't see it moving. Casper, one of my favorite projects, is now medium risk, high reward. I think the risk level has definitely come down basically on how well it's done. I can see this being $1 this year, and then pumping into a maybe 2 to 5 come the bull run in 2025, come the 2025 peaks, nearly 13 cents. And if you look at the max chart, which is, it's definitely a thing of beauty. If you were getting this down here, then obviously you're probably already very, very rich, provided you took the right element of risk. Casper, for me, fantastic project. Mirria. Now, Mirria, high risk, high reward. I love Mirria. I think it's brilliant. But again, it has to be tempered with caution purely because it needs to start, bringing out its own games and stuff like that. But it is an incubator for other games. Other developers can put their games on a platform, a bit like Steam, something like that. I don't think Steam actually do games, but the more that that other companies bring their games to Mirria. Mirria is like the platform for that. People will be able to use the games, and obviously Mirria are making their own games too. It's up 30% today, which is delightful. It's getting back to that kind of 1 cent range. I'm really bullish on Mirria, as you all know. I think, yeah, high risk because there's not anything out on it yet, but certainly high reward. If this gets adopted and does what Gala did last bull run, this could be a massive play. NXRA. This is a tricky one because it was ALBT, so it's got decent connections. I'm going to go potentially for a high reward, but on a medium risk. I think that it needs to pull off something that it did similar last bull run when it ran quite well. They've changed the name to Alliance Block NXRA now, which is quite interesting. 14 cents, up 14% today, nearly at 15 cents. Market cap's still really, really low, 117.5 million. This could easily fly given the right circumstances. Is it in the right sphere for the pumpamentals, if you want to call it that? Maybe not so much, but I still think it can do really, really well. Quant, I love Quant, as you know. If we look how Quant's doing right now, actually, because I think it's pumping quite well, or at least it has done overnight. We're looking at $127 now. One of them ones that people said would never move. I don't think there's a great deal of risk involved anymore with Quant. So I'm going to put it in a similar category to ADA, because I think that it's one of the easiest 10x's, potentially up to 15x's. I think the risk element is quite low. Gilbert Verdi, and obviously the CEO or the founder, super connected, probably one of the most well-connected guys in crypto, right up there with like Vitalik and Jonathan Sopolinsky, Satoshi, probably, if anyone knew who he was. Render. Now, Render is another one of the annoying ones that seems to have just, never come back down and give us a chance to get back in. Render, one of the good AI plays for the coming bull run. $4.28, up 14% today. Render, I would still say it carries an element of risk. So I'll go medium risk, high reward for Render. I think it's still got an element of risk. It's obviously its first proper bull run, but I do think it'll do very, very well, and it does concern me. I didn't get in time with that one. Scale. Now, Scale's a tricky one. It's done really well over the past year. You can see it's pumping up really well. We made a video about it when it was very low, and it's doing really well now. It's a tricky one. How much reward is there left? It's a tricky one. I'm gonna go with medium risk, high reward, because I still believe there's still some legs in it. Solana, again, this is going to be low risk, medium reward. It's along the lines of the Quants, things like that. Obviously, it's got a bigger market cap than Quant, but I still think there's still some gains to be made with Solana. It's currently $103. We could see that absolutely fly. $44 billion market cap. I still think there's legs in it. I don't think it's going to give you like 100x though. Trias, fantastic. It now goes into the medium risk, high reward category. It would have been high risk a couple of months ago, but the connections it's building, what Anbag Rawan's doing is phenomenal. If you look at the roadmap and the ecosystem that's coming out of Trias, it's just phenomenal. Obviously, the China deal was massive, and they are quite partnered now with Huawei. They're doing some great work there as well. It's a good time, or it would have been a good time to get into Trias. It probably still is, but it is pumping again now. So it's $15 9% up. I'm a massive Trias fan. Super bullish on Trias. Just check out some of the things they're doing. It's incredible. There's some videos on the channel as well if you want to find out a bit more about Trias. VeChain. Now, VeChain again is one of them tricky ones because it's got such a high market cap now compared to what it used to be. Like 2.4 billion, 13.9% up though, 3 cents. VeChain, will it give you a massive reward? Probably not. But is it quite low risk? Kind of. It's been through a bull run already. I will go with medium risk, low reward. I don't think it's going to give you massive returns. VRA. Now, I've always been a big fan of VRA. I think what it's doing is good. I'm convinced that it'll do well in this bull run. 0.006, 16.7% up. Market cap is 63 million, so it's still quite nice and low. I don't think there's a massive risk to it, so I'm going to go medium risk, high reward. I still think it can do really, really well. VXV. Now, this is one of the most unspoken about tokens or projects in the space. Like, no one ever talks about it, but I think it's really good. It's at 54 cents at the minute, but its circulating supply is only 50 million. Its total supply is only 50 million, and 37, nearly 38 million that's already out. Market cap of only 20 million. I still think this has got massive potential to pump. The reason it's high risk is because no one's really talking about it, and without kind of eyes on it, we don't get a lot of value. But I'm going to go high risk, high reward, because I do believe that it can do very, very well. It's in the bioscience and also can tick a box for AI as well. Fanex, one of my favorites, up there with Quant and Trias for me. That's up 6.4% today, coming back round to sort of 3 cents mark. The migration to Polygon should be next month. This is high risk, obviously high risk, but massively high reward if it goes well. And I have no indications why it wouldn't go well. We've got an AMA on the channel. You can go and check that out. There's been a couple of videos I've done regarding Fanex. I think it's a fantastic project, and it's got loads of legs to grow, potentially up to that $500 million market cap range. At the minute, it's around about $3 million market cap. We got in at $500,000 market cap, so that was crazy, but it was absolutely the right decision, in my opinion. If we look at the max chart, so we got in, it was round about, these levels. I think it was just there, actually. I think we caught the bottom, which was incredible. Yeah, it was. We caught the bottom. And then, obviously, it's flown up since then. It's retraced a little bit, so it's a decent time to maybe get some in if you haven't yet. It's 40% down from its all-time high, but I have a feeling that this will pump again very soon. Super bullish on front fans, really am. The community is great as well, as with Casper's. Do you think any of these are in the wrong order? Would you change any of these? Do you want us to do another tier list involving maybe a sector? Because I was thinking maybe to do an AI tier list, because I think AI is going to be one of the narratives, and maybe do a crypto gaming tier list where we factor in a lot more of the games, some singular games as well as incubator games. Let me know in the comments, which one you want to do, or some coins that you might have that you want to see in a tier list. Let me know what they are, and we'll give that a go. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please smash the like button. I always appreciate when you guys do that. We're so close to 3,000 subscribers. Ultimately, long-term goal is 10,000 subscribers, but let's get a 3,000 first. So if you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button. I'm over the moon when you guys do that. Wherever you are in the world, whatever you're doing, have an amazing day, have an amazing evening, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.